Hey guys, as you can see, I'm not home, and that's partially the reason why I've been so late with the review of American Horror Story Apocalypse finale. I was excited to watch the episode, however, I was not able until like 2 hours ago or so. And I am completely and I don't know, I'm just really satisfied with what we got in this finale episode. Normally, I've been disappointed by American Horror Story finale episodes, like Roanoke, to be example. That was my least favorite of all of the finales. Well, Coven was also too, but Roanoke was definitely a disappointment in my book, in my opinion. And this episode did not disappoint. I'm telling you, American Horror Story, they're like listening to feedback and they're like, hey, I don't think they're gonna like it if we don't like come out swinging. And they did. They came out swinging and they brought back people. They gave us bomb ass lines. They gave us just like a real American Horror Story good episode. So we start off with Myrtle Snow and Miss Venerable having a one-on-one, which is kind of interesting because they're like, oh, here's where Sarah Paulson is supposed to shine, because like we've seen her with Myrtle Snow before. We've seen her as Cordelia and Myrtle Snow. Now here is Sarah Paulson, and she's playing a different character. She's Miss Venerable, and she's also talking to Francis Conroy, who's playing Myrtle Snow. So let's see the difference between the characters that Sarah Paulson is playing. However, I feel like this whole episode just goes to Francis Conroy. Like she was just queen of this episode. And not to say that Sarah Paulson didn't do a good job, like she always does a kick-ass job, and she's just freaking fantastic and I love her. But I'm just saying, like, I felt like Francis Conroy really stood out in that whole meeting between Miss Venerable and Myrtle Snow. After episode 9, we were all wondering, well, if Dinah was part of the reason why basically half the coven was destroyed, why would they bring her back? And they answered that question in this episode by presenting that they thought that maybe Dinah would somehow, change and probably beg for their forgiveness and side with them. However, they know she wasn't gonna do it, so they made a deal with Papa Legba and basically trade her soul for Madame Laveau. And we've all been waiting. Well, at least I've been waiting for Angela Bassett to come back, and she served. Madame Laveau walks in with her long twist in her hair, and she comes in, she's like, Dinah, like, you're no voodoo queen, like, bitch, bye, you just trash. They're like, take out the trash, and she stabs her in her neck, and that's it. I was like, yeah, bitch. That's what I've been waiting for. Get rid of her. Take out the trash. Somebody come pick her up. Yeah. Be gone, Dinah. Be gone. We get basically a treat because Miss Mead, I don't know what she thought she was gonna do with her robotic self. Like they were just like, boom, you're done for. You're dead. Okay, bye. And then Madison picks up the gun and obliterates Michael. Or so she thought. They left Madison with Michael to keep a watch and basically hold him off in case he tries to get up back. So as they're walking away with Mallory to perform the spell to get rid of Michael, Coco's boyfriend comes in and just stabs her. He's just like, dude, where have you even been? Like, why are you here? Why are you still in this house, just roaming around? Like, you killed Coco. Why do you need to kill Mallory? Like, is it because she took your space or what you thought was your space, because honey, it was never your space. You are never going to survive. You're never supposed to survive in the bunker. This is a whole other situation that you are not supposed to be involved, and now you just ruin things and make things weird. So Myrtle was just like, you know what, set him on fire. Myrtle sets him on fire. He falls over the balcony, and Madison turns around to look what was happening, and she saw him burning. And while she's looking away, all the blood starts going back inside of Michael, and he gets up, and she had a feeling that something, I guess she could probably see a shadow, or she could just feel that someone was behind her, and she was like, back to retail. And by the time she could turn around with the gun, Michael just blows her head off. She was like, pop! Her whole head just blows up. After killing Madison, Michael goes after Cordelia, Myrtle, Mallory, Madame Laveau, and Coco. Madame Laveau is standing there. She's doing her magic. She's working her magic. She's like, you shall not pass. You will not pass. And Michael comes and he's like, stops, pretend that there's actually a shield between him and Madame Laveau, and then he just pushes his hand through her, like just basically gut her. But he didn't know that she was just being a distraction so that Coco could stab him. And I was like, you just saw Michael get shot like 1,000,000 times, and he's still here right now. So what exactly do you think that knife is gonna do? But I guess it would have done something at some point, but not right now, as Michael let them know. He was like, that would have probably worked at one point, but not right now. I'm different. And he pulls out Madame Laveau's heart, and he bit it, and he was like, ugh. After biting into Madame Laveau's heart, he just basically breaks Coco's neck and just go on his way to look for Cordelia, Myrtle, and Mallory. Michael walks out into the hallway where he sees Cordelia standing there. Michael's still holding the knife in his hand, and he's talking about how he just really wants to see Cordelia die. It's like he left her alive because he wanted to see her dying and knowing that he won, and just see the look of just complete loss in her eyes. And she was like, honey, I'm not letting you get that satisfaction, boo, no. Cordelia was like, my sisters, we are legion. And she stabs herself in the heart and just falls over the balcony. And Mallory is like, boom, back to life now. Time for me to do the magic. And she slips into the water. The water turns black. And at that point, she had a piece of Michael's silky hair, as Myrtle Snow called it. She was like, it's so silky. Basically, they were doing the same spell that they tried when she was supposed to go back and save Anastasia and her family. However, this time it was actually successful, and she was able to go into the past. She went back to 2015, like right after Michael killed the exorcist. There's basically a moment between Constance and Michael where Constance was just like, she's had enough, and she kicks Michael out. She's just like, no, you are not my grandson. She's like, you might have my grandson's voice, but you are not him. My grandson was supposed to be a sweet little boy, and you are definitely not sweet or little, because you grew overnight, dude. Like that should have been the moment you're like, boo, you're not my grandson. You need to go. She tells him he needs to go. He needs to get out of here. He tries to kill her, and he doesn't, because, as she said, he's a coward and he wouldn't do it. So he left, and as he was walking across the street, boom, Mallory was just like, boom, bitch, you're dead. Okay, but he took so long to die. It was so hard for him to die. She ran over him 3 times, and he still had life in him. Constance comes out, and she cradles him, and he begged her to take him to the house so he could live forever with her, so he could be there forever with her. She was like, you mean I just told you to get out of my house? Why do you think I want you to remain here forever? Honey, no, not with my family, not with my other kids. Like, no, go to hell. She literally tells him, go to hell, and leave his body lying in the middle of the street. Like, Constance, isn't this supposed to be your grandson? Like, she's like, bitch, bye. Go to hell. So we flash forward into the future, and we see Mallory meeting Cordelia, and she's becoming a student at the Robichaux Academy. We find out that since there was no actual apocalypse, then Myrtle Snow was not revived, and she just remained as a legend for the school. And Zoe was obviously still alive because Michael didn't kill her, and Queenie is in the living room, and she's talking about how she's about to go on Price is Right, and she's ready to go and have fun in California. And Mallory makes a suggestion. She's like, oh, don't go downtown. Maybe you don't want to stay in downtown. Go to Venice. You know, you need to. It's like you'd be closer to the beach. And she basically just saved her from getting stuck with Mr. Marsh in his freaking hotel. We see Nan walking in, and she brings Misty Day back from her personal hell. And we're thinking, oh, wait, Nan is here to stay. No, Nan is like, I like it down there. I have fun. I get to have fun down there. I'm staying with Papa. Like, he's my boo. And so she decided, she basically left. But before leaving, she basically gave a thank you to Mallory. And Cordelia kind of saw, and she was like, there's something special about this girl. So now she's obviously going to pay more attention to Mallory. We spend the whole season asking, so who is Emily and Timothy? Like, who are these people? Like, what is their point? Why were they there? And we find out that they're basically like a failsafe. Like Satan was just like, you know what? Maybe Michael will not be able to complete this mission, so we need to get the ball rolling, because we're gonna need another Antichrist just in case Michael is not able to accomplish this goal. And we find out that Timothy and Emily, they're basically the parents of the actual Antichrist. So Emily and Timothy met on campus when she accidentally spilled his coffee, and she offered to buy him coffee because, you know, he's cute and everything. She was like, you cute, I'll buy you another one. Okay. And he was into it. So they also give a callback to 23andMe, or just because they said that they submitted their DNA, or at least Timothy submitted his DNA, and that's the reason why he was taken and his parents were killed during the apocalypse. So we actually see them meet in a different way. I guess they go on their coffee date, and that worked out really well, because the next time we see them is a year from now, or a year from that time. And so 2021 we see them, and she's giving birth to a child. And in my mind I was just like, what? I don't think this is such a good idea. There must be something else to this. The next time we see them, we flash forward 3 years into the future. So right now, this little boy is a toddler, and it's somewhere around 2024, and they come home from a date or wherever they were, and they're walking through the house doing everything. They're like, oh, you got money for the babysitter? He's like, oh, I got a 10 for a tip. Okay. He walks in. They see blood on the wall, and they walk into their son's room, and he's in the rocking chair, and he's wearing the damn flannel shirt just like Michael was, and he's rocking back and forth and smiling with the blood on his hand. And it's like, instead of that little blonde boy, they just have like a little dark-haired boy, and it's just the same as little Michael rocking in that chair with the blood on his hand. And they take him up, and they're just like, they're so confused, and there's a knock at the door, and they go and answer it, and it's Anton LaVey and Miss Mead and the other one. And I'm just like, oh my freaking gosh. What's gonna happen? Like, what is gonna happen? Like, this is just like, there's another Michael, there's another one. How is Mallory gonna have to save us from him? Like, what's gonna happen? We don't know. Is season 9 going to have some sort of connection to season 8? I mean, it's possible that they completely ignore that whole part and just leave it up in the air for us to think. In the universe of American Horror Story, the Antichrist has been reborn, but they could just move on just like they did following Murder House. Like, they could just move on and say, okay, leave that to the imagination. Let the people think what they want to. There's no guarantee that the next season is definitely going to have anything to do with Apocalypse. I'm hoping it does. But if it does, this is a great set. After watching the finale of American Horror Story Apocalypse, I think that it really brought the whole season together, and I have a new appreciation for the season that I was not having earlier on. I felt like a lot of the episode fell short, but the finale kind of brought it back. Like, it brought back any doubts that I was having about the season. It really put it together. I feel like it would be really nice to binge watch this season. Like, it was made to be binge watched. Like, you need to be watching it back and back. But like, the weeks when you're waiting, like, oh, I have to wait till next week to see what's happening, I have to do this, and we didn't get a mid-season finale for this season, so it's different than what we've had in the other seasons of American Horror Story. We didn't have like such a big break, and I think they recognized that this season was basically made to be binge watched. Like, it was supposed to be watched as a whole instead of episode to episode. I can't wait for it to be on Netflix so I can just watch it as like a whole and see what it's really like, because I feel like that will give you a completely different experience than watching it week to week. Anyway, thank you for watching my review or conversation. I don't know what you're gonna call this. I feel like this is just my opinion on how the episode went instead of a breakdown, and I'm just really glad that you guys are watching these. Thank you for your feedback, and don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. To leave any comments that you might have about this episode down in the comment section. I am very interested to see what other people have to say. Were you disappointed? Did you like the episode? Did you think that it was necessary for them to bring back another Antichrist? Like, do you think next season is gonna have anything to do with this? Let me know your thoughts on this episode of American Horror Story Apocalypse, the season finale, down in the comment section. Once again, thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day, night, or whenever.